Okay, let's talk about multiplying decimals. And for multiplication and division, the rules are the same, and they're really important rules to remember. If you have the same signs, like if you had a negative times a negative or a positive times a positive, if you had those, meaning the same signs, you're always going to get a positive answer. If you have different signs, like a negative times a positive or a positive times a negative, if you have different signs, you will always get a negative answer. And we're going to see what that looks like. But these are rules that are the hold true for integers, fractions, and decimals. And we've talked about all of these so far. So let's take a look. If you have right here, this is multiplying decimals, right? You have a negative 2.49 times 8.5. Okay, so we do have a negative times a positive number. So if we have different signs, meaning a negative and a positive, our rule is going to be different signs, you're going to have a negative answer. Okay, so we know our answer, our final answer, negative times a positive is always a negative. So knowing that, let's just keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to do the multiplication now. So we have negative 2.49. And what we're going to do now is we're going to rewrite it so we have one number on top of each other. But we're not going to line up the decimals, okay? So this is not like addition and subtracting and comparing where you really need to have the decimals in check. This situation is different. For multiplication, the decimals do not need to be lined up, okay? So we're just rewriting that so that we have one number on top of the other number and so that we can simply do our multiplication. So let's see if we can fit this all in the screen. Basically, just straightforward multiplication. You get 9 times 5 is 45. Carry the 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. I'm going to put down my 0. 8 times 9 is 72. Carry the 7. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 7 is 39. I'm going to carry the 3 now. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19. Okay, and then we're going to just simply add that up. And we get a 5, a 6, an 11, carry the 1, another 11, and then a 2, because we carried the 1. Okay, so now here's the part that's not tricky at all, just you need to keep in mind. We're going to start, we're going to make note of where the decimals are. So there is a decimal, oops, that I just erased. There is a decimal right there. And we're looking to the right of the decimal, and we can see we have, new marker, we can see we have 1, 2 spaces right here after the decimal, and then 1 space right here, for a total of 3 spaces after the decimal. So that information is important because in our final answer, we're going to start from the right and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 spaces right there and put our decimal right there. And that would be our final answer. So the final answer would be 21.165. Okay, so it's a matter of starting from the right and counting over the decimal places. 1, 2 here, plus 1, you get 3 decimal places, so we're moving over 1, 2, 3 and putting in our decimal. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, again, we have now a negative times a negative. Well, we have the same signs, so then in this case, if we have the same signs, our answer is going to be positive. Okay, so then all we do now is simply rewrite our problem and do the multiplication. I have 6.24 times, I have 0.075. I'm just going to go ahead and write, I'm going to omit this 0 right here and write 0.75. I can do that for my multiplication. And then I'm just going to multiply it out. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. carry the 1, 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1 is 31, and then we're going to write our 0 in there. 7 times 4 is 28, carry the 2, 2 times 7 is 14, plus 2 is 16, carry the 1, 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43, and then we do the addition. Add there, we add 2 and 8, we get a 10, plus 1, we get an 8 there, 3 and 3 is 6, and 4. So now I have my number, but I need to put in the decimal. And again, the way I do this is I'm going to count how many spaces there are on top, and I see I have many more spaces than the last problem. I have 1, 2 here, and then I have 1, 2, 3. These are the total number of spaces to the right of the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I have to start on the right and I have to move over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and put in my decimal. So my final answer is 0.468 and then 0, 0. Now, sometimes you will see that these zeros are dropped off because they are at the end, and you might have the final answer as this, which is 0.468. I could put a 0 in front of it, which would, this is tens, hundreds, thousands, so it's 468 thousandths. And that's really it. So for multiplication, and you'll see for division also, same signs, you're going to get a positive answer. Different signs, a negative answer. That's the important rule, and you never have to line up your decimals for multiplication. So that's it, practice, and you should be good.